So in this third installation of our slides, this is very brief. I wanted to talk about data. What is data when you're using observation? And data comes in many different forms. Um, I ask you in your observation, your reflection, what did you use what was your strategy for recording your notes? So in terms of data, your notes themselves can be your data. Also, it can be photographs or videos, checklists if you're checking off things and doing more structured observations. Again, matrices or grids or lists denoting frequencies of events, actions, and behaviors, and maps and other materials. So to get your notes and keep them, you might think about recording what you're hearing, jotting down key phrases, taking copious notes, which might have to happen later on. You might take down these key phrases and then flesh them out later on. Some people just rely on memory, which I don't think I could ever do. But you need to become very disciplined and a rigorous note taker if you're going to use observation. And it's very important, something to think about is to distinguish observation from interpretation. So if you look at your notes, how often did you have an observation versus an interpretation? So here's an example. And this is just from the web, this one, and then I'll give you one of my own examples. The observation here is that at 10 a.m. in this area, a young male around 20 years old, African American, talks to an older female sitting nearby. And the interpretation, the person said, was that they seemed to be discussing something very serious. But we don't know that unless that person interprets what they hear them saying, or if they were able to really hear them, or if they saw something that made it seem like it was very serious, but maybe it wasn't. An observation is two females chat excitedly about the sociology class they came from the night before. They must have had a really good professor. So that's a huge interpretation. It's a huge leap unless there's some way of really saying, validating, yeah, they're talking about the fact that they have a really good professor. So I'm going to give you just a real world example, not necessarily from research, but what happened to my husband and I when we were driving down Farmers Loop, which is a key area to get around in Fairbanks, Alaska. Okay, so we're driving down Farmers Loop. It's after school, so it's evening, and I'm with my husband. He's driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and I see a woman run across Farmers Loop, a pretty busy road, looking very distressed. And then we saw a man running behind her, and he looked very angry. And I just froze. And my husband, I wasn't even sure what to say. I was just froze. And my husband just turned the car around because they crossed in front of us. So they were going the opposite direction and followed them in the car. What we really saw was that the distressed woman, so we thought we saw a distressed woman running from an angry man on Farmers Loop. What we really saw was that they were chasing their dog. A scared look on the woman's face, a man running behind the woman, serious look on his face, both running for several minutes, their dog running free on Farmers Loop in this traffic. So that is an example, and it's something that I think about a lot when I'm doing observation or I'm making my leap from just observing something to interpreting, is that I didn't see I was not able to interpret what I saw unless I really took some time and really put it into context. And that's something that we have to think about when we're observing. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. This was very brief, and we'll go on to our